true voyage of discovery is not in going new places, but in looking with new eyes. Did you get that? The true voyage of discovery is not in going new places, but doing what? Looking with new eyes. So, from the play here today, we have been exposed to some implicit biases. We are very familiar and conversant with the explicit biases, but the implicit biases actually are the ones that drive our decisions, our behaviors, and indeed what we do with time. So today, I want to come like this. I want to come with a conundrum that I would like to unpack with you. I want us to visit some subtle and nuanced hidden elements that, and they're illicit, subtle, hidden elements that have kept us enfeebled and have actually emboldened and further empowered the men. I want to segment this into three categories. 1, tokens. 2, pariah. And 3, pioneers. The token, the pariah, and the pioneer. I want you to look at 2 kinds of tokens. You will have an idealized token and a troubled token. You will have to follow me with 1, a hypothesis, another, an idea, and then the third one would be a story. So the hypothesis is that if Mrs. Edidiong, there's a certain Mrs. Edidiong I see who is contesting the Senate position for Uyo Senatorial District. Are you aware of her? Have you seen anybody like that? How will we support her? She's there, please. Are you aware? She's in the news. She's everywhere. She runs an NGO. She's impacted lives. You will need to sit back and study her activities, and then you will agree that she can actually represent women. So please, women, get interested. Politics is here. All right? Okay. So I want to hypothesize as follows, that if she wins the elections, she will be the only woman to represent Uyo Senatorial District in a long, long while coming. You don't want to doubt that, do you? Okay, I will say that driving my impetus from the story of our first female professor, our first female VC. One would have expected that by the quality of service that she delivered in the University of Uyo, the men would canvass for a woman to be maybe the VC of AXU or the VC of at least any of these tertiary institutions. Are you surprised that they do not want to talk about that? You're not surprised, are you? Okay. So she is an idealized token. You cannot now turn around and say to the men, you're biased against the women, because they will point to her. We elected her, we supported her through her tenure, we made her the very first female VC, and they expect you to clap for them. They expect you to agree with them. Know this today. Sometimes they practice some moral justices in order for them to also practice moral injustices. They bury these injustices within the moral justice that they practice. They come and preach the gospel of women cannot get along. That is not true. Women, are you not the ones here? If we were not getting along, who would have filled this hall? So misogyny, the hatred for women is not a women's practice. It is a human's thing. Humans have choices and they make choices. That is why a couple will visit a home and the baby of that home will decide to follow the man or the woman. It's a human thing. There is an instinct in you that will cause you to prefer one person and the other. Again, when men contest, have you realized that they even assassinate themselves? They kidnap, they assassinate, they recruit other men to oppose themselves. Yet they're the ones that will tell you that you don't like to work with women, which is not true. The most a woman that does not like you will do is not look at you. She will ignore you. You know, no matter how pretty you look, she will not admire you. And that one is easy. Can you not handle that? You can handle that one. You loved yourself, approved yourself before you met her. So she does not approve of you, she does not like you. Is that one a problem? She will not kill you. She will not even hurt you. In fact, she won't get in your way. If anything, she will try to avoid you. That one, is it a matter? It is not a problem, you see. So please, relax your notion of the fact that these women don't like themselves, they cannot work together, they don't get along, because we really do. Proof is what is happening here today. So, the next one will be the pariah. The pariah, here I mean that the door will be opened for one person at a time, and it will be expected that, oh, this door will stay open for many of us. Once she gets in the room, they shut the door against us. Imagine that in 1934, somebody hired this chick, Helen Richie, as the very first commercial pilot. Central Airlines hired her. Everybody expected that, you know, female pilots would be hired by commercial airlines. As we speak, 11% of commercial pilots are women. 11%. Since when? Our sister in the WTO, the door has opened for her, right? The men have actually opened the door for her. And she has entered that room. I tell you, by God, she will struggle through that office. And that door may never open for another woman, may never open for another black in a short while. You also would expect that the men will go and call her and say, come and be the president of Nigeria. Hasn't she got the experience? Does she not have love for her country? So what is happening? You're now buying forms, jumping around, looking for who will head you, lead you as a president. When you have a capable, tested, trusted, practicing hand, you're not considering her just because you have refused to look with new eyes. So come with me again to the few things that we can do about this. First, we have to expose the biases. The implicit biases. We have to see where these things are buried against us. And then we have to now sensitize ourselves against these practices. We have to build the wall that will oppose them. In fact, build a fortress against these things. And then move from there to preparing the people that will take up the opportunities when they come. Yeah, I'm Christian, so I'd like us to look at everything in this story that I'm about to share. So there's this girl that I admire, I love her, I try to study her, and I ask myself every morning, if this was Deborah, what would she be doing today? So Deborah, you find her story in the book of Judges in the Holy Bible, the book of Judges chapter 6, yeah, from verse 1. So now, Bible says, and again, the children of Israel did blah, blah against the Lord, and God gave them out for 20 years into the hands of a wicked king who had this rich armory, very strict man, stern and very oppressive. But something happened. From verse 6, you read out that, and Deborah, a prophetess, wife of Lapidoth, and she used to judge Israel at that time. Bam, bam, bam. She sat under the palm tree named Deborah. Oh, she did what? She sent for a certain guy, Barak or so, and asked him to go and gather the children of Naphtali and Zebulun, warriors. She did not send them to her office, asked them to be taken to the war front. As the guy was leaving, the guy said, I will not go if you do not come. I will tell you how we got there. So look at the process of the woman that will be that woman that you seek for, that you're looking for. First of all, we have waited too long, so we are pushed out by desperation. It should not be so. We should be pulled out by inspiration. So Deborah, a prophetess, she has anchored her inspiration on a supreme force. Every time we look at the person to give us the opportunity, the person to support us, we look to a man, perhaps our romantic partner, perhaps our VC. We just turn around and look to a man. It should not be so. You have power. The only way the man now knows that you don't have power is because you have asked him for power. You ask for what you don't have, and content follows form. They've seen that you believe that you don't have power, so they take it and keep it for you. When you want, you know that thing? You understand? They give you in drops and trickles, and then you celebrate the little. They even turn around and show you how to use the power. I'm coming there. So, now, Deborah did not look at any human being. She understood that she came from somewhere, and that she came, for a purpose. And then she understood the times. And did what? Anchored there. She moved from being a prophetess to being someone's wife. There's always a crucible where you can test, your passion, your power, your purpose. It might be in the classroom, can be in your parents' home, can be in your husband's house. It can be anywhere, but you always have an opportunity to test out what you believe. So she tested that out. She won the man's support. That relationship with the man did not tamper her relationship with the source of her inspiration, which is why no marriage, no romantic relationship, no professional relationship should even come close to your source of inspiration. Hold that one. Be sure. You understand? Now, from there, she got an education. To have become the very first female chief judge, documented in the Bible, this chick got an education. So she studied her law, so she's Auntie Moji's mentor. She studied her law thoroughly, and then she was excellent in her practice. Having gained integrity and the trust of her one man, she could now gain the trust of other men. These people used to come up the mountain to get justice. People will take trouble to come now. It depends on how you present the matter. But I'm coming, stay with me. So, she sat there and she built herself an estate. My sister did not say, somebody gave me this thing, I will name it after him. She named the estate Deborah and sat there and dispensed justice. Oftentimes, we are afraid to own the success that we make. So every time they tell a woman, oh, wonderful, congratulations. My sister is not me. Thank my boss. Thank my, please, your boss, somebody made him, please. Somebody made your boss. Somebody mentored him. Somebody coached him. Somebody taught him. So if he teaches you, don't glorify him. Be grateful. Be grateful, but don't give him the glory. Own your success. Take it. Own it. You have done well. Oh, thank you, my sister. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Be quick to say thank you. Own it. Don't shy away from it. But please don't stay there. Don't say because I've done this one, everybody's celebrating me. That's the least that you can do. Immediately you have attained that success, move. It's not your business how people are celebrating you, or, because of an old achievement. Move, leave them to celebrate you. They will come. They will come when you have, added another feather. They will still be there, okay? But don't be consumed by the success that you have made where you are. There's room, you're alive, you're breathing. So now, what am I saying to you? You need to understand the people that will negotiate for you. You have to build relationships, because politics is the mother of every power. Politics is the mother of every government. Financial governance, political governance, romantic governance, everything in the world comes from politics. Don't even say this is their thing. It is not their thing. It is your thing. Somebody gives birth to you, you wait for government to give you a certificate just to say that you are born. You start nursery school, you wait for government to sign you a certificate to give that institution, the legal grounds to operate, and then they now give you a certificate. Everybody's waiting for government, and you say you're not interested. Even when you die, they have to issue you a death certificate. You want to, at the one who has chosen a spouse, you go, they have to now give you a certificate to confirm that you have agreed that you're in love with somebody, and you say you're not interested. You ought to be. You ought to be. A lot depends on, government. So you must be interested in what happens within that place. Somebody gives you contract and somebody is taking 15% and calling it VAT, and you're not interested who holds it. How come, if it's you, Nko? I mean, what's wrong with you being the one to... Please, let us do this. I want you to think of 2 principles that we will use to counter this whole thing. The principle of complementarity. I am a perennial convict of the fact that the quality of your life directly depends on the quality of your relationships. Your bedroom experience will always determine your boardroom experience. Don't get it confused. Don't be confused about it. You know the experience that you have in your bedroom? It will determine the experience that you have in your boardroom. Be serious about what happens inside. So try and study the language of political relationships. It is highly relational. Deborah, your sister, built a relationship with 2 sets of men, and they were both warriors. The sons of Zebulun and the sons of Naphtali. They were not coming to her office to see her. She did not identify with them, but she related with them. She understood that, yes, as a prophetess, angels will not fight the battles of the world. So she had to build the relationship with these boys. And when this guy, she had to send, for a representative, oh boy, go and gather my people. She was so formidable that when she didn't want to go, the guy said, it will be useless going without you. Understand the timing. These men are failing. It is the opportunity that we have to do what? You don't understand, but God understands. Somebody took time to create things, created, and worked, and then made a man. He created man from the dust of the earth. And he would come every 6 p.m. to say, guy, how far? He now looked at it and said, this is serious work. I cannot be coming here every evening now. He didn't go back to the earth. He only upgraded that species by going to his side and pulling one bone, just one rib bone, and made an angel out of that person. My guy woke up and saw somebody and said, there's no way. This must be me. Nobody can love me like this. Nobody can care for me like this. When God did that, after he made you, he went home. He wasn't coming. What does that tell you? What does it tell you? What God used to come to do, you can do. So I want to charge you to understand that the lives of women will not change until the men come along. There is actually no need for any competition. Do you know how that word, that prefix, Mrs., do you know how it came about? From the Mr. There's actually an apostrophe before the S. So your Mr.'s property. What do you okay? Oh. Immediately they have given somebody money and gotten something. You are bought, paid for, and you are owned. Do you know that? Tell me, if you are not bearing your father's name, you're actually bearing somebody's name. So these guys, they give you your identity and all. There's no need. We cannot be like them. We won't be them. We will not compete with them, but we will complement them. We will so be in their lives to the point that they will never be able to do without us. It will be, go. They will say, if you don't come, I will not go. So please position yourself as that woman that will be formidable and relevant. Nobody will push you away because you will never put hot water in this bottle, will you? Okay. But you will put your hot tea in a teacup. Both things are fragile, you know that? But the other one holds value. When you hold value, you will still be as fragile as you are. You will not struggle to change from a teacup into a table or a rock. You will still be the teacup, but you will hold value. And once you are the holder of value, the persons that are taking value from you will be the ones with the responsibility of protecting you. So nobody will leave the teacup to drop, because of course it will break, right? Be like that. Be as fragile as you are. That's how you were made, but hold value so that the men will protect you. So I love you very much, and I want to ask that once in a while we come out in some informal settings and sit down to look at ways that we can catch them and learn the language of political relationships. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and God bless you.
Please celebrate this wonderful lady for that good